Update 4 on Tropical Storm Gabrielle, which has just reformed in the past hour or two, currently with winds of 40 miles per hour, pressures 1008 millibars, current positions 33.9 degrees north, 67.7 degrees west, which has it just northwest of Bermuda right now, not really affecting the island much anymore, but the storm's expected to move towards the north, eventually turning post-tropical before moving over Atlantic Canada. Nova Scotia in particular will probably receive the full effects of what the storm has to offer in the next few days. Probably not too much in terms of wind speed, but heavy rainfall is certainly a possibility. But the probability percentages of tropical storm conditions in the next 96 hours are at least moderate in Canada right now, around 50% across Nova Scotia. Those may rise, those percentages may rise over the next few days as the storm moves closer. Only 10% on Bermuda right now. Most of the storm has cleared Bermuda itself at this time. Sea surface temperatures as the storm moves towards the north gradually decreasing. There's a small, a short amount of time where the storm will have sufficient waters for more development, so we may see a little bit of intensification over the next day or so, but then a weakening will occur or extratropical transition as the case may be. This is what the models think right now. The intensities, first of all, you can see how it's predicted to become possibly 50 miles per hour, maybe 60 miles per hour if the DSHP model is to be believed. But the storm, as in terms of its track forecast, you can see here, expected to move towards the north, which is what it's doing right now, and then eventually curving towards the northeast, probably crossing over Nova Scotia, and then eventually maybe making landfall in Newfoundland or Labrador. But the shear comparisons as well, expected to drop a little bit over the next day or so to about 15 knots, and then eventually rising rather sharply, which will mean the end of its tropical storm status at least very soon. Sea surface temperatures similarly becoming much less conducive, dropping off a cliff at around 24 hours time from 28 degrees to well below 26, and the relative humidity comparison staying rather constant at this time, around 50 to 60%, which is marginally conducive for the next few days, but that's fairly irrelevant with the other factors coming into play. This is the latest satellite imagery. You can see how it's not really faring too well at the moment. You can see the centre of circulation at least partially exposed at this time, just rather a blob of intense thunderstorms or rain at this time, which is just slightly to the east of the centre at the moment, possibly extending just a little bit over Bermuda at this time. Some rainfall probably being experienced over there, but nothing too major. You can see a bit of dry air off to the east of the storm, which could mean some limited development over the next few days, as well as coupled with the other factors of wind shear and decreasing sea surface temperatures. But we could see a little bit of intensification, as I said, over the next day or so, and then eventually weakening, definitely by the end of day 2 on the forecast. So, September the 12th, 2013, what's going on in the tropics right now? Invest 90E in the Eastern Pacific, 93L in the Atlantic, which could develop into our next storm. Tropical Storm Gabrielle, of course, and Hurricane Humberto still going as a strong Category 1 hurricane to the northwest of the Cape Verde Islands. We also have Invest 97W in the Western Pacific, which is also likely to become a storm over there as well. So this is the Atlantic Ocean right now. You can see the 3 systems at the moment. Gabrielle, not much of it displayed here, especially when you compare it to Humberto. Quite a broad system Humberto is right now, and an update on that one coming up later today. 93L as well, which could develop into a tropical storm in the Bay of Campeche towards moving towards Mexico as a tropical storm. That could be a likely scenario. But as it stands right now, 2013, the 100th busiest season on record, but also the 63rd or so least busiest on record. 8 tropical storms. The first hurricane formed just yesterday, or it might be then 2 days ago now. I lose track of time with Humberto. And no major hurricanes as of yet, which is still a bit of an eyesore then compared to all the others around it, which have at least had one. And you can track this storm at the website, force13.com/stormtracking.html. That's the main page for it. There you will find the tracking map where you can see all the storms laid out over the world map, including post-tropical storms and invests as well, with tables at the bottom showing their intensities and indeed any warnings that are currently in effect. No warnings in effect yet as a result of any of these storms. Bermuda warnings were lifted quite a long time ago before it degenerated into a tropical depression, but we may be seeing warnings coming into effect for Canada, Atlantic Canada, over the next day or two, so we'll keep eyes on that. Visit the website for the most up-to-date information in between videos. You can also find us elsewhere on the web, Facebook and Twitter, just search Force 13. You should find us fairly easily enough. And please do show your support as always by doing the usual means of engagements, commenting, subscribing. Those are the main two, really, aren't they? Those are very much appreciated indeed, especially if they're positive as well, the comments. But in any case, the next update on Gabrielle will probably follow sometime tomorrow, the 13th of September, that's Friday, with an update on Humberto following later this evening. But until then, that's all for now.